It's time for another episode of MoState Update, the official podcast of Missouri State Athletics. Now, here's your host, the new voice of the Bears, Corey Riggs.
Hello, Bears fans, and welcome back for another installment of MoState Update, the official podcast of Missouri State Athletics. I'm your host, Corey Riggs. On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit of volleyball and a little cross country. Our first interview in this episode will feature the director of cross country and track and field here at Missouri State, Coach Jordan Fife. Then a little bit later, we'll sit down with a pair of Missouri State volleyball sophomores as we talk to Aniya Joseph and Kaya Johnson. That'll be a lot of fun. Their season is off and running, and so is cross country, so we'll get updates on both of those sports and what they've got coming up on campus here in the not-so-distant future. Let's go ahead and run you through some Missouri State headlines right now, though, and a lot of hardware handed out in the last week to Missouri State student athletes. We begin with men's soccer, and Fumi Shiraishi was named the American Conference Offensive Player of the Week on Monday. This is his second time earning the honor. It comes after he scored two fantastic goals in Missouri State's big 3-1 win over Penn State on September 1st. Shiraishi has now scored or assisted on 7 of the 8 goals scored by the Bears this season. He's also ranked number 1 in NCAA Division I in goals per game at 1.5 per contest. And congratulations to his classmate Harry Jolly, who also earned honorable mention honors for his efforts on the defensive side of the ball, helping to control both games and leading the team from the back of the field. Now to volleyball, Missouri State freshman outside hitter Peyton McGee was honored on Monday as well as the Conference USA Freshman of the Week. McGee earned MVP honors at the Dr. Mary Jo Wynn Invitational after helping the Bears claim the championship of their annual home tournament. And finally, in Missouri State football news, a pair of Bears were recognized by Conference USA after Missouri State's historic win in Huntington, Virginia over the Thundering Herd of Marshall last Saturday night. Linebacker and defensive captain Kanye Young was named CUSA Defensive Player of the Week. He had a huge interception late in the game to help seal the deal for the Bears. And the man that got the game-tying score received Freshman of the Week honors. That's Missouri State redshirt freshman tight end Jaron Askren. Both of those players being honored by Conference USA this week, and rightfully so. And finally, a little bit of an award, too, for the Bears signal caller as Jacob Clark was named to the Manning Award Stars of the Week. It's the 8 top offensive players in the nation, usually quarterbacks. And then there's an online vote to see who the winner of the week is, but just an honor, really, for Jacob to be named in that group. And those are your Missouri State headlines for this week. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, it'll be time to talk cross country with Coach Jordan Fife as we continue on this episode of MoState Update. Welcome back to MoState Update, everybody. Our first guest is the director of cross country and track and field here at Missouri State University. Been on the staff here since 2014. Jordan Fife joins us now. And, Coach, the season is off and running, right? It was back to school, training, and you guys were on the march as of like August 29th, right?
Yep, opened a couple weeks ago over at SEMO, and then we've got our unofficial, I guess, home meet this weekend. We kind of co-host with Evangel and Drury, kind of something we've been working on together. Last year was the first year, but yeah, we're excited to get things going again this weekend and be on to the rest of our season.
Well, let's start with how training began for you all. You get everybody back on campus. Don't have a lot of time before that first meet. What was kind of preseason conditioning like for you all?
Yeah, they do a lot of their work at home in the summer, or if they want to stay in town, they stay in town. But it's NCAA doesn't necessarily allow us to be with them during the summer, but they know how much work has to be put in the summer to be able to be ready for meet number 1. And so they did a great job with that over the course of the summer. Came back in really good shape. We had a time trial the end of the first week back, and things looked really good there. And so things have just been progressing ever since.
And the roster size for your team, is it about 16 or so?
Yeah, we're at 16 right now. Last year we were at 22, but obviously with some of the roster cap situation, we had to come down a little bit. So we like where we're at. The squad from 1 to 16 is very competitive, and we're excited about who we have here.
A little more than half of the roster too is upperclassmen. I assume that's helpful to a coach to have that amount of veterans on the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got equal parts seniors, juniors, sophomores. Our freshman class is a little smaller than normal just because of some recruiting stuff. But we've got 80-90% of the team has been here, done that, and knows how it works, and that's been very helpful to start the season.
Well, let's talk about the schedule. It includes 6 meets across 4 states, including your home meet here this weekend, as well as your debut in Conference USA. But it all started with the Red Hawk Classic down in Cape Girardeau, and you couldn't have started this season much better, right? Yeah, it was a great night for us. We actually didn't even run our top 2 runners in that meet, just some minor health things. So to go in there and have a definitive win, in that opener without the top 2, that was a big statement from this group, and we're just looking forward to getting the other 2 back out there very soon. Now, in that event, the team won the event, but you also had a first-place finish for Madeline Moore, and Madeline didn't compete last year, so I assume quite a start for her, quite a comeback for her. Yeah, she was kind of a 4th, 5th runner for us 2 years ago, and then had a season-ending injury last year, so didn't compete in cross-country, but made a really good comeback during the indoor and outdoor season for us, and finished the season strong at the Valley Championship outdoors. And so she's just, building that momentum from that point forward, and she had a great summer, and, this is her senior year, and she wants to go out, strong, and she's showing that right now. I couldn't have asked for a better start from her, obviously winning the Red Hawk Invitational. Meanwhile, you bring up that final Missouri Valley Conference meet. What was that like? Because I know for me, in leaving the Valley as a broadcaster, it's not so much about not being in that league anymore, but the people that I'm not going to see anymore, the friends that I made, guys at Southern Illinois, Evansville. I assume you had been close with some of the other Valley coaches. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being a student athlete in the Valley and then only ever coaching in the Valley, like it's all I've known for, the last 25 years or so. And so, some of the coaches that I've been coaching against, the last decade, they were coaches when I was an athlete, so they've known me kind of that whole stretch, and that will be a big piece of it. Just going into a new league, there's already unknown, but you take away the comfort and the just the knowledge that you have from all of the other teams and coaches, and you've got to relearn who does what the best and who's good at this and who's good at that, and we'll get there. But last year was couldn't have asked for a better finish, to our Valley career. We were kind of a 7th, 8th type place team, indoor and outdoor for a couple years in a row, and to go in there, have the best meet we could have possibly had, and to finish 4th, was a big step forward for our program, and we're just going to try to build with that momentum into Conference USA. So walk me through now what's going on this weekend with the Queen City Classic. You mentioned Drury, you mentioned Evangel, that you kind of co-host the event with them. Are there any other teams that you all bring in? Yeah, SBU will come down for it. College of the Ozarks will come up for it. But we just kind of like the small feel to it. It's early in the season. None of our teams are really trying to do anything crazy at this point. So just to get, another meet on the schedule, be able to stay close to home for all of these schools and give maybe fans of the sport that are local a chance to come and see pretty much every team that's around, I think will be a really fun event. And this is going to be out at Betty and Bobby Allison Sportstown. Yeah, it's technically hosted by Sportstown. We've given a lot of help to them through this, and the course itself will actually be on Deer Lake Golf Course next door. That's what I was going to ask. But everything's kind of being funneled through Sportstown, so they're kind of working together on this project for this year. So Saturday morning. There is something really unique about the sport of cross country and how it works. So in this case, you guys are going to run on a golf course. I have called one cross-country meet in my career that was at Oak Lawn Racetrack down in Arkansas, and that was run on the infield. Some of them I've seen run on school campuses. Is there any limitation to where you can or can't set up a cross-country meet?
Not necessarily. I mean, we're pretty much looking for, any open space, grass. I mean, golf courses work great. I'm not super familiar with Conference USA and how many teams within the conference have their own home dedicated course, but in the Valley, there were 6 or 7 schools that utilized golf courses in town for their cross-country meets. And so, it's just nice to have something close to home where we don't have to be on the road this weekend.
No, that's very nice. I say after starting the football season with 2 weeks on the road, I'm excited about being home this weekend as well. So let's talk about the rest of the schedule then. After you host this event here on September 13th, then you'll be back on the road in October to go down to Fayetteville. Is that an event that you guys have had on the schedule for the last few years? Yeah,
we've gone several years. I don't think we were there maybe the last 1 or 2, but we've definitely been down there at least a half a dozen times. It'll be nice to get back down there. It's a really fast course, really good competition. Just kind of worked out this year that it fell on a weekend that we could do that one instead of having to choose to go somewhere else. So we're excited about that one. Again, being in kind of a radius of Springfield, 2-3 hours makes it a little easier for parents to get down there and watch as well. So that'll be a big one for us. And then we'll move to pre-nationals, which is going to be up at Mizzou. They're actually hosting nationals this year. So as part of hosting nationals, they're required to host a couple of meets during the season to kind of get ready for that. And so we'll travel up there 2 weeks after the Arkansas meet for that one. That'll be huge. That'll be teams all over the country, coming for that one. And then, like you said, the Conference USA debut, there's a lot of excitement about that, just trying to figure out exactly where we stack up. And there's no way to know until we actually get down there and see what every other team has to offer.
So you don't know necessarily what the competition is like yet, but moving from the Valley to CUSA, and that event will be down Saturday, November 1st in Huntsville, Alabama. Maybe the number of teams different from the Valley to Conference USA?
I think we're equal, especially on the women's side, which is all that really pertains to us. The men are a little shorter, but I think, a little bit of research and following the teams throughout the season, I think it's going to be very comparable to the Valley. There's 2 or 3 schools that are going to be really difficult to compete with, but I think the way things are going so far for us, I wouldn't put it past us. I think we can take on that challenge. Same with track too. I think it's a league that's equal to or even better than the Valley in terms of the depth within it. So it's going to be a big learning year for us to see where we fit in and see where we need to kind of make some changes to the program.
And then things kind of wrap up, I guess, out in Stillwater and in mid-November. That'll be the NCAA Midwest Regional.
Yep. Looking forward to going back over there. We've been there a few times, too. Very challenging course, but we know kind of what to expect there. We'll make some changes to how the season, goes training-wise to be ready for it, but great way to finish off the season.
You mentioned a couple of different times, this will be a challenging course. Is there any rhyme or reason, or is it really just kind of topography, geography that makes one course more difficult over another?
Yeah, it really just comes down to how much up and down there is. The elevation change, the hills can really slow you down. I mean, you definitely get, a little bit more speed on the downhill, but I think overall over a 5-kilometer or 6-kilometer race, it really starts to get to your legs. And so, Oklahoma State's course is immaculate. It's one of the best courses in the country, but it is also one of the most challenging ones too. So it just evens the playing field from week to week. Anything can happen on any given course. And so that's, we're looking forward to that.
9 runners on your roster from the state of Missouri. Is cross country still kind of moving up in its importance as a high school sport in the state of Missouri, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's a sport that's just so well participated at the high school level. There's just so many opportunities that kids look for at the next level. And so I think we're now to the point where the top kids in the state of Missouri don't look at Missouri State as like a second or a third option anymore. They look at us like, hey, that's a very competitive program. And as I'm looking at my options, it's something that they are looking more and more at. And so, state champions and different things like that maybe in the past, we didn't have as good of a shot at. Like we're we're in the mix now. In fact, one of our freshmen was a state champion in the 3,200 meters last year in the big class division. So that just kind of shows, where the program's headed and what people think of it, across the state.
And then before I let you go, this is a team, too, that, you had a good finish last year. You kind of exceeded expectations in the Valley tournament. Hard to exceed the expectations, though, in the classroom. Your girls academically, Ella Kronhart received an academic recognition at the end of last year.
Yeah, academic All-American. So, having, a really high GPA mixed with being able to go to the national meet, which she did in the steeplechase. And so that was a really good accolade to kind of give to the program. But yeah, I mean, the staff up and down, athletic training, academic support, they do a tremendous job with our program, and we're very thankful for that.
You obviously wear multiple hats, the cross country, the track and field. So how much time do you have after that regional in November before everything swings and you jump into track and field?
Yeah, track practice has already started.
Oh my God.
So I'll be at cross country at 6:15 a.m. and then I'll pop out for track practice at 2:30 for the rest of the group. And Coach Mack and Coach Smiley do a great job with those athletes. And the regional meet will be mid-November, and then our first indoor meet will typically be the first week of December. So there's really only about a 2 or 3 week window where nobody in our program is competing, and then we're right back into it. So it's a year-round thing.
So everybody takes Christmas early.
Yeah. We get one meet in before we go home. We give them a few weeks at Christmas, and then we jump right back into meets as soon as we get back to campus in January.
Well, good luck this weekend with the Queen City Classic, and good luck the rest of the way. And we'll be following along as cross country and track and field continue throughout the fall and into the spring.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Jordan Fife joining us here. We're going to take a quick break, come back and talk volleyball as MoState Update continues. Welcome back to MoState Update, everybody. On to interview number 2, and we've got 2 volleyball standout sophomores here to talk to us about how the season has got underway. So we get ready to talk to Kaya Johnson and Aniya Joseph here from Missouri State Volleyball. Ladies, first of all, thank you for coming on and doing this. How are we doing today?
Yes, thank you for having us, and we're doing good. Getting ready to prepare for this weekend. We're really excited to have another home weekend. So we're just preparing and getting ready. You guys are coming off a very successful home weekend last weekend. You got to host the Dr. Mary Jo Wynn Invitational, took 2 of 3 in that tournament. How did things go for you? Because I know it was a little rough the first 2 or 3 matches of the year, but you got in the win column at home this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I feel like we've just been, like most other teams, just trying to figure things out with our players because we have such a talented roster that there's so many lineups that can be put out. And so I think just right now we just found a successful roster that works for us, and hopefully it keeps working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so too. You talk about this year's roster. Kaya, let me ask you something. You both are sophomores. There's about 6 sophomores and about as many freshmen. It's a pretty young roster. Where's the leadership coming from this year?
Yeah, I think it's coming a lot from the upperclassmen as well too. We've got 2 seniors, Lizzie and Roe, and they've done a great job of just kind of holding people accountable of certain things. And also our juniors, Grace, Brooke, and Nellie, they've done an amazing job of the communication piece of that kind of stuff. So, yes.
Well, how did it feel, first of all, this weekend to get into the win column? And I say kind of had a couple losses right out of the gate, but then you get on your home floor, first game of the tournament, and you all come out with the W.
Oh, I felt awesome. It was just really, refreshing, honestly, to get that W, especially on the home court. Mm-hmm. It was, prideful moment, and it just was awesome. Mm-hmm.
Kaya, let me ask you about the home court. It's new this year. I remember seeing a while back, I think there was a social media clip, you all getting to see the court for the first time, obviously right before school started with practice getting back. What do you all think of the new court?
Oh, I love it. It's clean. It looks sharp. It looks really good. Just kind of growing up in Springfield, though, that original court is pretty it's pretty legendary. And
it's kind of iconic, isn't it?
Yes, it is iconic, yeah. So it's a little different, but we absolutely love it. And it's just the look of it and makes the gym just pop even more.
So you talk about growing up in Springfield. I wanted to ask you, I remember watching you in high school, some of the stuff that I used to at MediaCom.
Mm-hmm.
You also were a great basketball player. Was there ever a time you were thinking basketball or volleyball, or was it always going to be volleyball as an opportunity in college?
Well, I didn't make my decision until probably the beginning of my senior year. So I was still split 50-50 with both. I really enjoyed both. Grew up with a big basketball family. Volleyball was just kind of there. Wasn't really super important, but I just love volleyball. I love the game. And it was a hard decision to just kind of cut off basketball, but I'm really happy with the decision I made to continue.
Aniya, what was your recruitment like? Obviously a very successful high school volleyball career, but how did you get from San Antonio to Southwest Missouri?
It's actually a pretty funny story. So I actually committed, I believe, my senior year. Might have been end of my junior, but I believe it's my senior, to West Texas, a D2 school out of Texas. And then they had a coaching change, and their coach went to GCU. So then I was like, you know what, she was one of my main reasons for going there. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. And so I went back into the recruiting portal. We got a few hits, and then Missouri State happened. I took my visit here, and I was like, this is pretty interesting. I could see myself here. I love the staff. I love the people who were on my visit. So I decided to commit here, and it's been awesome.
That's a great decision. Let me ask you, you bring up the staff. You all have an addition to the staff this year. Coach Mack's been here for a while. Bree's been with him. But now you have Lori Endicott Vandersnick, and Lori obviously is kind of a legend in these parts. An Olympic volleyball player, was big time at Nebraska. What has adding her to the coaching staff brought for you two this year?
She's been awesome. She just brings so much more knowledge to the court. Some of the things she said, I'm like, I didn't even consider that aspect of the game. So it's just been incredible to see her knowledge come to life, and also to have someone that went to the Olympics is just so cool. Mm-hmm. That she was that good and that talented and that committed to get that far. Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, Kaya, she's from around here. Yeah. I mean, she grew up in Willard, right? Yeah. That was the team that you probably ran into once or twice. Now,
a few times.
A few years separated now, obviously. But I say, did you know much about Lori before she joined the staff here?
Yeah, she was actually my 7th grade volleyball coach in middle school. So it was a full circle moment when she joined the staff, and it's just been really cool over the years. She's always been at all of our high school games. Then she did some reporting at Missouri State last year. So it's been a full circle moment with her, and it's really cool to have her on our side now.
No, the one thing people didn't realize when Coach Mack hired her is it meant finding a new color analyst for volleyball on ESPN Plus, because she was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody had to use anybody else. It was always Lori. She was fantastic. So, Aniya, I want to go back to your two's freshman year last year and talk about, you had to battle through an injury. You started the season on fire. I mean, when there are comparisons between a new freshman and a name like Lily Johnson in this program, that says a ton. You don't have to know much to know what a big deal that is. But then you have the injury. You fought back through that. Tell me what that process was like for you last year, and maybe what you learned about yourself, because whether I talk to football players, basketball players, those injuries early in a season where you have to sit and watch and kind of become a cheerleader and stuff really seems to be an opportunity for growth for a lot of athletes.
Yeah, I won't lie. It was really hard just because I was so excited to get here and compete. And with my injury, it kind of took me out of things. Like, I would be doing really, really great, and then something would happen, and it kind of just pushed me back 10 steps. So it was really frustrating, really hard. But, sitting out made me realize, how much I love the sport of volleyball, and how eager and how hungry I am to get back in the game. And, I knew, within that first month of sitting out, I was going to do anything it took to get back on the court. So I think it just also showed me, how strong, how positive you have to be at life to get through it. And, that pretty much, you can overcome anything. Like, it's just a mentality aspect on a lot of things in life. So.
Well, let me ask you then about the mental toughness that you've had to show now, because you have historically been an outside hitter, right? But that's not the role you're playing now. So why the change, and how hard has it been to kind of adjust to a new role on the team?
So pretty much the change happened because I'm having some issues with my other shoulder. So It kind of pushed me back a couple steps there. But I think the mindset I had was, one, I'm going to do whatever my team needs. And two, like, my love of volleyball trumps my love of my position. So I don't care where I'm at or what I have to do to play. Like, I'm going to do that in order to get the opportunity, if that makes sense. And I just want to do anything that's going to help the team, obviously. So. No,
that's a great attitude to have. Kai, we talked about you being a local player. You were at Kickapoo. I find this staggering. So there has been at least one Kickapoo High School graduate on the roster for Missouri State Volleyball dating back to 2006.
Wow.
So that's quite a run. Almost 20 years now, there's been at least one former Kickapoo player on this roster. But now there's you and Hannah Gardner. What is your all's relationship like, and how much pride do you take in representing Kickapoo?
Oh, yeah. Me and Hannah, she's always been a year younger, but she's always been at Cherokee and at Kickapoo, so we've kind of grown up with each other. And she's just an awesome teammate, and it's been really cool to see her grow from high school to college and kind of get to see that transition. And with that, we were both student body president at Kickapoo. So I've kind of, through last year, we talked a lot about just the president side of kind of that, and so we always have something in common to talk about. So it's been cool to have her now back on the court and to see her leadership and just her competitiveness too on the court. So I've missed that.
Now, do you have any aspirations of political leadership here on campus? Do you want to be student body president here at Missouri State?
I don't think so. Volleyball's kind of a lot right now.
I would imagine so.
But we did enjoy doing that at Kickapoo. So it was a good time. Yeah.
Talk to me about what's next for you all. Let's talk about this first. Let's talk about Conference USA. You got to spend last year, the final year in the Missouri Valley Conference. Now all of a sudden you have a completely different conference schedule to handle, a different travel schedule. What are you looking forward to moving into Conference USA, either one of you?
I feel like the competition's going to increase with just how competitive things are, how good the teams are. So I think just being able to face some of these like top-ranked, I guess, teams is just going to be super cool experience, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it'll be an adjustment of playing the team twice in a weekend and not traveling the next day. Mm-hmm. So I think this weekend will give us a good test of how mentally you have to come back and be strategic throughout the whole weekend. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it kind of now all of a sudden gives me a COVID vibe, which doesn't feel good. But all of a sudden it's like, hey, bring a team in and just play them back-to-back nights and then send them on their way. Mm-hmm. The goals for this year then as a team in a new league with a lot of new young faces on the team, what are your goals maybe individually for this season?
I would say for me personally, I think it's to get back on the outside. I'm missing it. So that's obviously a personal goal. And I mean, maybe just to overcome things. I feel like our team is so special and we have the capability to overcome so many adversities that other teams may give us. So.
Yeah. And this is kind of off topic, but I meant to add this after you were talking about your, injury, but just how great of a teammate Aniya has been throughout her whole recovery process through the end of fall and then in the spring. Like, she was working so hard, but also being such a great teammate and just giving us feedback and being positive. Like, you always was just a light. And I meant to say that at the end, but knowing how hard that comeback was for you, like, we could see it, but you never showed it. And so
thank you.
You're just always a great teammate. But going with goals, I think just being competitive and working on our side of the net and getting that as consistent as possible, I think is a big goal of, like, yes, we have the opponent to work on, but how can we every day continue to get 1% better throughout each practice and game?
It'll be great. It'll also keep continuing this weekend as Missouri State Volleyball stays at home Thursday night, Friday night against Purdue Fort Wayne. Thursday night is going to be teachers, first responders, and military night. All of those folks get in free. Friday night is club and school program night, and both of these two will hang around along with the rest of the team, sign autographs afterwards. Yeah. Is it cool signing autograph? Nobody asked me for my autograph, so I'm used to it. But does it take a little bit to get used to signing autographs?
It does, yeah. You gotta get the rhythm and the pattern down. You're like, oh, I can do this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Maybe the only autograph I do is on checks to pay for like tuition here at Missouri State. So, all right, Kaya Johnson and Aniya Joseph from Missouri State Women's Volleyball joining us here on MoState Update. We're going to take a final break. Come back and wrap this one up after this. Welcome back for our final segment here on MoState Update, episode number 23. Before we wrap up and let you go, let's run down this week's home event calendar. We've got a variety of sporting events going on here at the Missouri State campus that we want you to know about. We begin with volleyball as they are home on both Thursday and Friday night with matches against Purdue Fort Wayne. Start time for both nights is going to be 6 p.m. Thursday night will feature free admission for educators, military, and first responders, while Friday night will be a school and club team night, and we'll have a post-game autograph line with the volleyball team afterwards. So if you want to bring the kids out and get some autographs, Friday night for volleyball would be a great day to do it. Also going on this week in Allison South Stadium Friday night, Coach Michael Seabolt's men's soccer Bears are home against the Temple Owls. That'll be a 7 o'clock start time this Friday, September 12th. That game will be camper night, and it'll feature a halftime performance by the Sugar Bears. Then, of course, as we talked to Coach Fife about earlier, this Saturday, bright and early, 8 a.m., Missouri State Cross Country and Coach Fife will be hosting their Queen City Classic. So get up early for that one and start your Saturday with a little cross country, then head on over to Bearfest Village and get ready for what is the biggest football game in Southwest Missouri history when it comes to college football, as Missouri State gets ready to take on the SMU Mustangs, a team that was in the college football playoff a year ago, top 25 ranked a week ago. This is going to be a big game at a big time. The game will kick off at 2:30. Obviously, tailgating starts about 3 hours before that. If you need any information about new parking, the clear bag policy, tickets, any of that, just go online to MissouriStateBears.com. MissouriStateBears.com. There is an article up right now that is a game day readiness article that tells you about all the new things going on at Robert W. Plaster Stadium, as well as the fact that you can go to MissouriStateBears.com/tickets and buy your tickets now. You do not want to get caught in line 15 minutes before game time and miss the kickoff and some of the other festivities that we have planned for Missouri State's first ever home FBS football game. It's going to be a big time. You don't want to end up missing out on any of it. So make sure and clear the calendar Saturday. Come out early, stay late, be loud, and help root for the Bears as they take on the Mustangs out of the ACC. It's going to be a huge day. Not to mention, it will be the final radio broadcast in the 46-year career of the living legend, the voice of the Bears, Art Haynes. Our pregame show will start at 2 o'clock. And I would definitely want to have an earphone or something in to hear Art and his sign-off and his final broadcast. It has been a life well lived and a legacy that is filled with professionalism, pride, and passion for Missouri State athletics. And he has set the bar at a level that will never be attained again, no matter how hard we try. So please come out, if for nothing else, and to honor Art. If you've been a football fan, a basketball fan, a baseball fan, come out, tip your cap to the man as he signs off one final time. Art's last call this Saturday against his alma mater, SMU. So we told you, MissouriStateBears.com/tickets if you need those. Before we go, we want to thank our guests on this episode. Of course, the Director of Track and Field and Cross Country here at Missouri State, Jordan Fife, as well as volleyball standouts Kaya Johnson and Aniya Joseph for being a part of the show. And we thank you for joining us as well. Until next time, I'm Corey Riggs saying thanks for joining us here on MoState Update.
You've been listening to the MoState Update with Corey Riggs. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Missouri State Sports Network.